WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, and this time I have a bottle from Ireland. If you've been watching my channel at all, you have seen a lot of different distillery tours and interviews and so on that I've been posting. There's also from Teeling a distillery tour, which I put up there. Now this is the distillery exclusive. I'm going to read on the back. It says here, Teeling Whiskey takes pride in progressively, I love that word with whiskey producers, driving the evolution of Irish whiskey. To continue this journey and exploring the full spectrum of flavors Irish whiskey can offer, we have selected some of our most unique casks for our distillery exclusive bottling. Here we go. These casks have been specifically chosen for their exceptional quality. Each bottling has its own individual personality and distinctive taste. Well, of course. Now, this can actually just has a label you can put on there. So this has been generically produced for anything they put out the distillery. And what I received when I was there in the end of July 2018 was a 46% normal, non-chilled filtered normal, chestnut finished exclusive Irish whiskey. So I did the tour. If you can watch the tour online, feel free to do that. Fran was my tour guide, and what she continually emphasized was the fact that all whiskey from Teeling will always be at least 6 years old. 2 casks were the only exception, and those were the casks they laid down on the first day of distilling. And after exactly 3 days and 3 years and 1 day, they will bottle them as a commemorative edition. Everything else will always be minimum of 6 years. Now at first I was like, oh, that's great, but then I was like, wait a second, no wonder it's been 6 years ago since they actually sold Cooley to Beam, and Beam merged together with Suntory, and that became then the new Cooley Distillery and all the different brands that belong to this. So they, Teeling, still have, and this is actually signed here by Jack Teeling. John is the dad, Jack is one of the sons, and actually the grandsons are also part of the business now as well. They actually have enough stock for the next 3 years. Wow! I do not understand the deal that Beam Suntory made back then with Cooley. Here, don't work for 5 years. Oh, we forgot to mention your sons can't do it either. Here, take all the stock that we have, and we're just going to keep that converted potato vodka distillery and a few of the other brands. And we'll give you how many, I don't know, 50 million or whatever it was. It's an amazing deal that they negotiated back then. I don't understand it. All right, so they still have enough stock for the next 3 years, because in about, I think it was 1 month and 24 days, those 3 years are up. And then they will actually wait another 3 years before they start putting out their own juice. This is basically Teeling small batch. Usually it's 6 years, and then it has another 3 to 6 months in a rum cask. 3 years ago, I think I bought the very first bottle of the Teeling small cask for about 22 euros, about $26 over here, and I was amazed at the quality. It was one of the best whiskeys, Irish whiskeys I had up until that point. And this is exactly the same. 6-year-old, 3 to I don't know how many months in a chestnut cask. Very, very difficult chestnut wood to actually manufacture, make those casks. I only found 2 different whiskeys online. Both I've actually filmed in German. There's a German producer, Aurium, the Gravedigger. They have a chestnut 1865, a 5-year-old, which finished in chestnut. I didn't like. And there's Method and Madness Pot Still, also finished in sherry, bourbon, and chestnuts cask, which I also didn't like. Do we see a trend here? Yes. So this is, I like the bottle, black, very, very nice, a little bit like the Brabazon. Very, very, very deep, dark, black, white, can here. Over here in Germany, very close to where we live, we have the Wacken open air, where about, I think, 100,000 heavy metal fans come, and they are always black and white, so this would be actually almost the best bottling for them. Now, the nose... So, it's very, very wood forward, not a good wood. Have you ever actually smelled chestnut wood? Now, we know chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Wow, Jason's not even singing in the right rhythm here. That's not what it is. It's not those chestnuts, it's chestnut wood. So I get a little bit of vanilla, I get a little bit of the malt, I get a little bit of a sweetness, and then I get a lot of this wood, a lot of a like driftwood, a lot of a heavy, dark. It's not mahogany, it's not walnut, it's not cherry, it's chestnut. And it's not a great smell here. If you would have placed this in front of me and said, Jason, blind, what is this? I would have went, oh, that's easy. Wait, it's a German whiskey. It smells like 3 years, 1 day in a used or a brand new European oak small quarter cask. And it's very, very over dominant, that wood tannins. Chestnut apparently has an enormous amount of tannins, and that is one of the biggest problems we have here. All right, let's try it. Wow. Bitter. Wow. Oh, tannins. Sour almost. And it feels as if it's very, very young. Sharp, peppery. I'm going to dilute it down. D plus max. I don't think I've ever downgraded a Teeling that far as this one has. The problem with cutting edge progressiveness is sometimes you go off on a tangent and you're like, whoops, all right, tried it, didn't like it, go back. And that's what WhiskyJason says here. Tried it, didn't like it, come back. All right, put some water in it. Now I actually get mustard seed. Very unique flavor, which I don't think I've ever had on a whiskey before. Very, very rarely. I think I mentioned once before my grandmother spreading that mustard seed on my chest when I was a little boy, and burning off all those future chest hairs. This is not nice. European oak tannins, it doesn't really have that, but it's a chestnut tannins. Now it's acceptable. It's more of a 3-, almost pushing up to a 3. Wow, that 46% is just overdoing it. I would have, if I had used the chestnut, I would have done at least maybe about a fourth of the time that they actually used it. It was way too much of that influence for my personal preference, and leaving it at the 46% to keep it non-chilled filtered. Wow. Okay. So, if you are ever in Dublin, Ireland, please, 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 you can of course go to Jameson. That experience is interesting. Do I have my little? No, I don't. It's over there. I had my little coin here, I thought, but I don't. Jameson is a nice museum type of place. They do have a micro boutique distillery installed there. If you really want to see a real distillery working up and running, the spirit of Dublin here, this is where you need to go. St. Patrick's Church, 10 minutes, maybe even 12, west to northwest just up the street, take a left and so on. Your Google Maps and so on will bring you there. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. 10 euros is the minimum you pay for the tour. Then you get a nice little cocktail at the end. 20 euros, you get to try 3 different whiskeys. And if you do the 30 euro tour, which I did, you get to start off with a single malt, yummy, yummy. You move up to the Teeling Revival, even better. And lastly, you get a handful. In my case, it was a 14-year-old port cask. Heavenly. I can highly, highly recommend that. All right, this is something I can't recommend. Hopefully the next time you're there, they'll have something a little bit different. The Teeling with the chestnut finish just is not my wheelhouse, not my cup of tea, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to give it a 4, which is a D plus, and value for money, which is a D. All right, thank you very much for watching. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. My question of the day is, what is your favorite Teeling bottling? For me, I guess it would be, just off the top of my head, the Teeling small malted, the single malt with 6 different casks. Very, very good. Over here, it runs around 42 euros, worth every single penny. What is your favorite Teeling bottling? Thank you very much for watching. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. See you soon. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, my tasting reviews come out. Bye-bye.